You don't see 20 missed calls and think, oh goody, I've got the breakfast show.
Do you believe me?
For today's Do You Believe Me, producer Neve,
Yes.
who do we have?
Today, you guys are chatting to comedian Max Fosh.
Oh, yes!
Let's get Max up on that stream.
Oh.
Welcome to the show, Max!
You good-looking man,
Hello,
Max.
boys. How are we?
We're very good, Max. Welcome to Graham and Nathan. Welcome to Do You Believe Me? We're just going to pass it over to you. Let's hear your story, and myself and Nathan have to figure out, well, do we believe you?
Okay, right. So, do you believe this, boys? When I was starting out with my career, I worked at hospital radio. Now, hospital radio is very important to the ecosystem. It's kind of local radio to people in hospital, and it's listened to by people in hospital. And I was nearly fired from hospital radio for playing the song "Highway to Hell."
Oh,
Okay.
right.
Now, initially, Nathan, I'm thinking no.
Why?
Because I'm thinking Max is trying to get us in our own game. Oh, these guys, they're radio presenters in Ireland, you
Yeah.
know, oh, they'll fall for the old radio trick. And I don't think hospital radio is a thing here in Ireland. So it does confuse me. Can we ask you a couple of questions, Max?
Of course, go for it.
What was your time slot?
So at that point, I was doing the 10 p.m. till 1 a.m. slot.
Okay, late gig there. Max, what was the hospital called?
The hospital was called the RVI, but it actually broadcasted to about 4 or 5 different hospitals, including the Queen Elizabeth in Newcastle.
Now, I will say, Graham,
Yes.
Max has a fantastic voice. He does belong on the radio.
That is true. That is true. And
Very
what type of show did you used to do? Was it just music? Did you do shout outs, or was there a bit of comedy in there too to keep the patients happy?
Yeah, there was a bit of comedy, but it was a late night slot, so I was trying to constantly find ways to entertain myself, and I realized that the start of Highway to Hell by AC/DC worked perfectly for chatting in between because they've got the big guitar riffs and then it goes silence. So it was perfect in terms of how to present the next song. So that's why I put it in.
I also have another question. How did the process of getting fired
Yes.
begin? So explain that to me. Was it immediately, or was it the next day when people found out?
Well, I got a call very early doors at about, obviously I went to bed.
Yeah.
And I woke up at about 9 a.m. and I had about 20 missed calls from the station
A lot
manager.
of missed calls.
Yeah.
You don't see 20 missed calls and think, oh goody, I've got the breakfast show. It can only really mean one thing. And so I got a call, and I was eventually I picked up, I called him back, and he asked me to come into the studio again. Not a good sign. And I was sat down and asked whether I remembered what I played the night before, and I said no. It was 12:30 at night, and then I was played back the I was played back the link that I did with Highway to Hell. So did I do that?
Okay.
Okay.
Do you know what? I had an idea in my head.
Yeah.
And right at the end, I changed it.
I agree with you.
Right. Just write down what you're thinking. Like, do you believe? I'm just going to say yes or no whether or not I believe Max. We're in agreement. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I think the more Max spoke, the
Yeah.
more I thought, oh my God, yeah.
Okay. So you go ahead.
Max, we do believe you.
So tell us, is it true?
It is absolutely 100% true.
Come on.
Do you know what? I was actually no until you said link, which is very much radio lingo. And I go, okay,
Yeah,
this guy was definitely on the radio, and just the way
Yeah.
you delivered it. So that was it. I think it was actually a bit out of order for you to get sacked on that. It's a good song.
I didn't. I had some time off, which for a volunteer station is as good as getting fired. Really, I didn't really lose my paycheck. I wasn't being paid anything. But I mean, my main argument when I had the meeting was, hold on, it was on the system. So if it's on the system,
That is
true.
That should removes any kind of like if I come in and plugged it in and thought, yeah, this will really get him. But no, I did. I think I had a bit of time off. I did then come back for a bit, but yeah, that was
We'll
wasn't my
say
finest hour.
rock and roll, Max. What a way to go.
Bad boy. That's what you look at me and you see is a bad boy.
Max Fosh, you are on, of course, because you are bringing your show Loophole to the 3 Olympia on the 27th of September. That is next Friday. Can you tell us a little bit about the show?
Yeah, next Friday. Really excited. I'm currently in a dressing room in Cambridge. This is Holly. This is kind of showbiz,
Yes,
baby,
nice.
rock and roll. It is a show called Loophole because on YouTube, where I make kind of my videos and where kind of people watch my stuff, I'm kind of known for finding loopholes. I recently managed to compete the Mr. Universe bodybuilding competition because I realized they didn't actually check whether you were a bodybuilder. So you know, I'm pretty good at finding a loophole, and I found a loophole that is bigger than everything that I've done before, but also I kind of had a chat with my lawyer and he says you can't really put this on the internet.
Okay.
So I said, okay, but can I tell people on stage? And he said, yes, just about. So I've written a stage show about, or a stand-up show about this loophole that I've discovered.
I absolutely love it. Tickets can be purchased on Ticketmaster or through maxfosh.co. That's it, not com.
Just .co.
.co, C-O, not co.uk, not com, just .co.
It's very, very, modern, very modern, just .co.
Max Fosh, thank you so much for joining us on Graham and Nathan and participating in Do You Believe Me? And if you ever want a job on radio, you can just contact us. We'll get you on. Maybe roughly the same time, nighttime, if that's all right. Max, you're an absolute gentleman. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Cheers, Graham, Nathan. Cheers, boys.